Yeah, you putting those people on contracts. So all that stuff add up.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The more people that's around helping, and people don't help for free no more like that.
That's not about football. That's about something else.
I'm like real life investment. Like, I know the most guaranteed stock I got is myself. So put everything I got into me.
Ooh.
Shedeur Sanders didn't just beat the system, he rewrote it. Before throwing a single pass in the NFL, this fifth-round rookie, buried fourth on the Browns' depth chart, flipped the league upside down and walked away with over $21 million in brand deals, merch cuts, and media power plays. Let that sink in. While most rookies are just praying to survive training camp, Shedeur turned the bench into a billion-dollar stage, and the NFL never saw it coming. This wasn't luck. This wasn't hype. And it sure wasn't about being Deion's son. This was strategy, precision, a new kind of quarterback built for the age of content, commerce, and control. Fanatics launched his jersey before the Browns even finalized their QB depth chart. $250 million worth of Shedeur Sanders gear flew off shelves, and he pocketed $15 million before preseason even started.
There's some backlash from you putting yourself out there, but when you embrace it, he's just like, this is what it is.
He didn't need ESPN to co-sign him. He didn't wait for Mel Kiper to call his name. Instead, he built a media empire around himself on his terms and turned NIL into his personal ATM. This isn't just a rookie story, it's a revolution. And if you thought the NFL controlled the narrative, you haven't met Shedeur Sanders. Most rookies are chasing practice reps. Shedeur Sanders was already chasing equity. Before he ever stepped onto an NFL field, Shedeur banked a staggering $6 million in NIL deals. But here's what made it different. These weren't your typical smile-for-the-camera sponsorships. These were ownership deals, long-term partnerships, and back-end equity moves that players twice his age never even dreamed of. While others posed for quick cash, Shedeur was building an empire.
And that would be counter to anything we've seen from Shedeur Sanders in terms of how he's conducted himself across a couple of different stops in college football from Jackson State to Colorado. And for somebody that's grown up in the limelight, you knew that being Deion Sanders' son is going to come along with a different degree of scrutiny.
He didn't just lend his face to a brand. He became the brand. His deals included a mix of strategic merch collaborations, digital content partnerships, and appearance contracts where he controlled not just the image, but the message. This wasn't a side hustle. It was the foundation of a quarterback business model that no one saw coming. And the wildest part? He built all of it while still in college. This wasn't handed to him. He didn't ride his dad's fame. He capitalized on it. He studied the market, built his content team, ran his social platforms, and leveraged every ounce of buzz into pure business. He wasn't waiting to go pro to get paid. He was getting paid because he already moved like a pro. $6 million before a single snap. No playbook, no template. Just vision, leverage, and a plan nobody else had the guts to follow. And the money? That was just the beginning.
I don't think he's John Elway. I don't think he's Peyton Manning or even Eli. But I think he's the best quarterback they have, and it'll just take him time. And I think he's a good kid. By and large, good kid.
No preseason snaps, no guaranteed roster spot. And yet, Shedeur Sanders had the #1 selling rookie jersey in the country. Let that settle in. The Browns hadn't even officially slotted him into their quarterback room, and Fanatics already rolled out his jersey. Before higher drafted QBs like Dylan Gabriel or returning players like Kenny Pickett. While others waited for marketing teams to build hype, Shedeur was the hype. This wasn't a clerical accident. It was a strategic launch. The NFL and Fanatics saw what was coming. They saw the clicks, the followers, the buzz. Shedeur didn't just move product. He moved culture. In a matter of days, $250 million worth of Shedeur Sanders gear flew off the shelves. And while rookies usually get crumbs from jersey sales, Shedeur negotiated a massive cut. A clean $15 million straight into his account.
Expectations have changed because a lot of what we're hearing from Cleveland has changed again.
And here's the twist. Fans weren't buying into the Browns. They were buying into Shedeur. Raiders fans, Dolphins fans, even people who didn't watch football were rocking his jersey. It wasn't just sportswear. It was a statement. One fan said, "I'm not a football guy. I'm here for Shedeur." That's not marketing. That's movement. While draft analysts were still debating whether he'd make the final roster, Shedeur already made history. The league hadn't even mic'd him up, and he already owned the moment. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a one-man media machine. While most rookies are begging reporters for interviews and praying for a highlight on ESPN, Shedeur already controls the narrative. From custom YouTube series to curated brand content, he doesn't wait for coverage. He creates it. This isn't a guy riding a wave. He's building the ocean.
Different level of why he's so marketable is because he pulls up in these little regular spots and just be showing love.
Every deal he signed came with equity. Every appearance came with back-end points. This wasn't about collecting checks. It was about building ownership. His NIL playbook didn't include one-off promos. It included long-term stakes in companies and content platforms. And while other players rent their spotlight for a season, Shedeur owns his. That's why when people wear his jersey, they're not just repping a player. They're repping a movement. Black fans especially, I saw something deeper. It was about representation, defiance, and identity. Support Black business wasn't just a slogan. It was sewn into every stitch of his jersey. One fan said it best, "He's not my team, he's my symbol." Think about that. Loyalty not to a franchise, but to a person. And Shedeur? He didn't flinch. He leaned into it, built around it, profited from it. Most players hope to trend. Shedeur strategizes how he'll trend and gets paid every time it happens.
And it's that branding, bro, being a business, a walking business brand. He's a 5th round pick and he generated damn near well over $300 million already in merchandise sale.
This wasn't fame. This was calculated brand warfare. While other rookies waited for media approval, Shedeur Sanders burned the old playbook. He didn't need Mel Kiper to bump his draft grade. He didn't need ESPN to validate his game. Shedeur went straight to the people, building a content empire on his own terms, telling his story without filters, and turning passive fans into loyal investors. That's what scared the establishment the most. He didn't wait in line. He built his own platform and invited the world to join. No fancy agents pulling strings. No old-school PR team controlling the headlines. Just strategy, content, consistency, and receipts. From YouTube to Instagram to docuseries deals, Shedeur weaponized storytelling. And the result? A fan base that doesn't need highlights to stay engaged. They follow him, not just the scoreboard.
It was good that I grown up Little League and all that stuff under center, so it brings me back to Little League days.
While the sports media kept regurgitating the same lazy takes, he's just Deion's son. Let's see if he even makes the team. Shedeur was executing a plan none of them understood. He was making headlines without saying a word, moving culture while they were still debating combine numbers. He skipped the gatekeepers and never looked back. And by the time the NFL realized what was happening, it was too late. Shedeur wasn't just a story. He was the source of stories. And every time someone doubted him, that just became more content, more leverage. If you thought Shedeur Sanders was just signing deals, you missed the real play. Behind every jersey, every video, every brand drop, there was a hidden weapon, the prime equity clause. inspired by Deion's game-changing mindset, but elevated with Shedeur's Gen Z strategy. This clause flipped the athlete-brand relationship on its head. This wasn't just about slapping his name on a product.
Treatment, just on the field, off the field, just making sure everything's right.
Taking care of everything to make sure your body's right.
Yeah.
That's actually, I didn't even think about that.
When a Shedeur docuseries aired, he got paid on the back end. When a jersey dropped, he had equity, not just a royalty. Every move he made came with a seat at the table. No flat fees, no one-time checks, just long-term value. Negotiated up front, like a CEO, not a college kid chasing fame. That's what made this different. Shedeur wasn't chasing attention. He was chasing assets. And that prime equity clause, it showed the blueprint for every athlete coming behind him. You don't need to be a first-round pick to have first-class leverage. You just need to own your image, your voice, and your audience. Shedeur had all three, and the receipts to prove it. The NFL thought they were drafting a developmental quarterback. What they really got was a walking enterprise. A fifth-round pick with franchise-level pull, media ownership, and business acumen beyond the scout's imagination.
Shedeur was my 20th player. He's a first-round caliber player. Like, talent-wise, both those guys, I think, have a huge advantage over Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has to be light years better.
They thought they were getting a prospect. What they got was a partner, and they didn't even realize it. The Cleveland Browns might be sitting on a gold mine, and they don't even realize it. Let's get this straight. Shedeur Sanders was a fifth-round pick, buried fourth on the depth chart. But his jersey? It outsold every single rookie in the NFL. He wasn't even guaranteed a roster spot. And he already had a national merch rollout, equity stakes, and a fan base that couldn't care less about the Browns. That's not a lucky break. That's a branding tsunami. And the Browns are acting like it's just business as usual. While teams were hyping up higher draft picks like Dylan Gabriel, whose jersey didn't even make it to clearance racks. Shedeur's was front and center on Fanatics before the ink on his contract had dried. Fans were clicking add to cart before he'd even touched a practice field.
Shedeur Sanders, he's going to have to earn that money. I think it's brilliant the way the NFL structures these contracts, especially rookie contracts.
And it's not just hype. It's not just followers. It's loyalty. Real loyalty. The kind teams spend decades trying to build. And Shedeur did it before playing a down. Here's the scary part. If the Browns don't wake up, they'll lose more than a player. They'll lose the movement, the media power, the fans, all of it. Because Shedeur's audience doesn't follow logos. They follow him. Trade him tomorrow, and that loyalty packs up and goes with him. The Browns didn't build this wave. They just got lucky enough to stand near it. And now, they can either ride it or get crushed by it. While NFL insiders debated arm strength and footwork, something much bigger was happening, and almost everyone missed it.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to look it up if that's some type of record. I personally feel that's a record when you look at the atmosphere of it. You look at where he got drafted.
This wasn't just about a rookie quarterback. This was about a fundamental shift in how power moves in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders didn't just show up with highlight reels. He brought a media empire, a direct-to-fan business model, and a roadmap that exposed how outdated the league system really is. He turned every traditional barrier into a stepping stone. Media control, he created his own. Marketing, he didn't wait for team graphics. He launched full-scale campaigns. Contracts, he baked in equity. And when criticism came, he turned it into monetized content. Every doubt became fuel. What Shedeur proved is that the old way, where athletes had to wait for a chance, earn respect, then maybe get leverage, is dead. Now, you build first, monetize second, and then let the league come to you. That's the shift no one saw coming.
Shedeur seems to overcome every time, no matter how much blitz packages you throw at Shedeur. He's durable. He could take the hits. He doesn't have to be the fastest man on the field.
Because it's not just Shedeur anymore. It's a wave of athletes studying his blueprint, realizing they don't have to play by the NFL's rules to win. And the NFL? It's playing catch-up, fast. What happens when more players skip the combine and sign media deals instead? What happens when equity replaces endorsements as the new gold standard? That future is already here. And Shedeur didn't just predict it, he built it. Shedeur Sanders hasn't thrown a single NFL pass, but he's already redefined the game. This wasn't just about NIL deals or flashy branding. This was about control, about rewriting the rules before ever stepping on the field. While other rookies were chasing validation from scouts and execs, Shedeur built his own stage and brought the audience with him. $6 million before his rookie deal, ownership over his image, equity in every move, and a media machine that doesn't just follow the story, creates it.
Yeah, you putting those people on contracts, so all that stuff add up.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The more people that's around helping, and people don't help for free no more like that.
He didn't just learn from Deion Sanders, he evolved the playbook. And now, he's forcing the NFL to adapt to him, not the other way around. This is more than a football story. It's a business shift, a cultural pivot, the kind of disruption that echoes across locker rooms, front offices, and boardrooms. Because if a fifth-round pick with no guaranteed snaps can generate more value than top 10 selections, then everything about how we measure talent and value needs to change. Shedeur didn't wait to become a franchise player. He made himself one before the league even knew what hit them. The NFL thought they were drafting potential. What they really got was a movement in motion, and it's only getting louder.